Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare.
Feeling very agitated, very disturbed. Can you give the class today, Michael and Multiplication?
We can begin now. ओम अज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपा कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरुं श्रीयुतापदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च। श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगणा रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्री राधा कृष्ण पादान सहगणा ललिता श्री विशाखान्वितांश्च। हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधु जगतपते गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधा कांता नमस्तुते। तप्त कांचन गौरंगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। मुखं करोति वाचालं पंगुं लंघयते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे श्रीगुरुं दीनतारिणं परमानन्दमाधवं श्रीचैतन्य ईश्वरम्। नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमति भक्तिवेदांत स्वामी नामिने नमस्ते सरस्वती देवी गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे। श्री वर्षा भानुवी देवी दायिताय कृपाब्दये कृष्ण संबंध विज्ञान दायिने प्रभवे नमः। नमो गौरा किशोराय साक्षात् वैराग्य मुक्तये विप्रलम्बर सांबोधि पादाम्बुजायते नमः। नमो भक्ति विनोदाय सच्चिदानंद नामिने गौरशक्ति स्वरूपाय रूपानुभवरायते। गौरविर्भाव भूमेष्ठं निर्देश सज्जना प्रिय वैष्णव सर्वभौम श्री जगन्नाथाय ते नमः। जय तो सुरतो पंगो मम मंदा मतिर्गति मत्सर्वस्व पदाम्भोजो राधा मदन मोहन। दिव्याद विंदारण्य कल्पद्रुमाद श्रीमद रत्नागार सिंहासनस्तु श्रीमती राधा शीला गोविंद देवो प्रेष्ठाली भी सेव्यमानो स्मरामि श्रीमन्रासरसारम्भी वंशी वटव ततस्थितः कर्षण वेणु स्वनिर्गोपी गोपीनाथ श्रियेष्ठन पंचतत्त्वात्मकां कृष्णं भक्तरूपस्वरूपकं भक्ताख्यं भक्तावतारं नमामि भक्त शक्तिकम्. Okay, so we will cover. This is a very big pastime. We are discussing Madhavendrapuri trip to Vrindavan. Mm, mm. This pastime will take 2 weeks. So this week and next week we will cover Madhavendrapuri, and then Mahaprabhu's journey to Jagannath Puri and pastimes at Jagannath Puri once I return back. These pastimes many of you may have heard, but the details that Krishna's Kaviraj Goswami explains is very nourishing. And hearing about, Srila Prabhupada explains, hearing about the pure devotees of the Lord is even more important than hearing about Krishna, because the mercy of Krishna comes through mercy of pure devotees. So one must always try to glorify devotees whenever, especially whenever we get a chance to glorify them. Something we discussed, Madhvendrapuri position as a tree in Vrindavan, um, eternally, where the divine couple performs their pastimes every night. A tree which is dearest to them, and one need the mercy of Madhvendrapuri eternally in order to participate in Lord's pastimes. Imbued with love, could not differentiate between day and night. Madhvendrapuri was a sannyasi, a traveler uh, on a stage of prema, and something we discussed about this last week on different stages, something from Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu concepts. He went to Govardhan in ecstatic love. He circumambulated Govardhan. Then he went to Govindakund. We saw Ramapad Maharaj wonderful talk he gave last week, discussed about Manasi Ganga. Then he took us to Dan Keli pastimes, and then he took us to Govindakund, Dauji, Balramji's, originally established by Vajranath, the deity in the village of Anior, summarized the Govardhan pastime and showed us the place of Baithak, the Bhajan Kutir of Madhvendrapuri in Govindakund, and the place where the deity of Gopal was found. So he went to Govindakund, the same place where Indra and Surabhi bathed Krishna. And he sat beneath a tree to take his evening rest. So these devotees, they travel on a stage of Paramhamsa. They travel and continue Shravanam and Kirtanam. Now there are no devices with them, but at the stage of sadhaka, the principle is hear about Krishna. Hearing about Krishna becomes natural at a well. The purpose of hearing about Krishna is smaranam, shravanam, kirtanam, smaranam. The purpose of hearing about Krishna is to meditate on Krishna's pastimes. Devotees who are beyond the stage of anartha nivriti, they engage their the pastimes of Krishna fills their day and night. They are always engaged in remembering different pastimes, different stages of devotion. The stage before Anartha Nivriti, its emphasis on the body should be engaged in serving Krishna, because the mind is not so pure to be engaged in serving Krishna without the engagement of body. So whole day seva, as much as possible. That way there is a possibility of mind being engaged in Krishna's service. Um, then um, in in the stage of Paramahamsa, there is a stage of mind will naturally be attracted to Krishna's pastimes, um, spontaneously attracted to Krishna's pastimes. In the stage of practice after Anartha Nivriti, the recommended principle is make a conscious effort to remember Krishna throughout the day. Try to remember Krishna throughout the day, but it becomes more natural when one comes to a stage of ruchi and ashakti. Ashakti means one is actually attached to Krishna, spontaneously attached to Krishna is ashakti. Then one can actually remember Krishna's pastimes throughout the day. At the stage of bhava, the spiritual world descend and one is no more influenced by the three modes, and the mind becomes entirely spiritual. There is no difference between, then the body is no more within three modes, nor is the mind. Entire Goloka descends. So the pastimes that eternally go on in Golok Vrindavan manifest in the heart of a devotee like a television. Prabhupada used to use this word. So at the stage of Paramhamsa, the devotee chants. The medium of progress in Krishna consciousness is always chanting, always chanting. Srila Prabhupada used to chant 64 rounds every day. And that's what he told his disciple to do, because that's what he was doing. So he told all the disciples, you all chant 64 rounds. But devotees were shocked. And Prabhupada realized that if the principle that I follow, that my spiritual master gave me, if I tell them to do it, then the spreading of Krishna consciousness will be restricted. The principle, the desire of worldwide movement will not take place. So Prabhupada asked the disciples, okay, I will give you concession, you chant 32 rounds. Uh, and they were still not willing. Then Prabhupada said, okay, 16, no less. And when devotees would say, Prabhupada, I would chant 16 rounds, Prabhupada would not like it. And Prabhupada would say, minimum 16 rounds. Because the principle is worldwide Krishna consciousness movement. The mercy of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has to flow worldwide. Um, so the principle of progress in Krishna consciousness bases around chanting. Chanting is the best time of smarana, meditation. Um, so these Paramhamsa sannyasis, they are always chanting the holy names. Kirtaniya Sadahari. They're always chanting the holy names. And their Shravan is their own meditations of spontaneous pastimes that they are receiving. But naturally, our mind cannot meditate on Krishna's pastimes. The whole days and weeks and months and years will pass, and not even a single pastime will appear in the mind. That's that's something we have to desire. Begins with a desire that I want to go to the next stage of my devotion. Begins with a desire. So Madhavendra Puri was one of such devotee at a stage of Paramhamsa Vaishnava, constantly chanting day and night. And for them, chanting is not a sadhana. For them, chanting is a means to relieve their aggrieved heart, crying for separation from Krishna. There is nothing that attracts them. So they just want to do chanting. If we think at our stage that we want to chant whole day, uh, it just um, because we don't have attraction for it. So we won't be able to do that. Um, and Prabhupada used to say, don't try to mimic the activities of a Paramhamsa Vaishnava at a stage of conditioning, because then you will simply fall down. Prabhupada said, don't chant like 192 rounds like Haridas Thakur used to chant. So their chanting and our chanting cannot be compared. For them, they cannot live without it. That's why Prabhupada used to say the goal of chanting is chanting. Now, it takes one to know one. We cannot understand their position. Mm, and their taste and their absorption and their consciousness. But if Krishna's mercy, we get a hint of the goal, if we get a hint of how sweet is Krishna consciousness. The moment Krishna's pastimes enter the heart is filled with Krishna's sweetness. The goal is to become Krishna conscious. Krishna conscious means we are always conscious of Krishna. How we are always conscious of Krishna? By remembering Krishna's pastimes throughout the day. But that is an advanced stage. And chanting itself will bring us to the point that while chanting, all the pastimes of Krishna will appear spontaneously. Our Acharyas explains it progresses from Nam Roop Guna Leela. Chanting progresses from taste in the name, and then taste in the form, and then taste in Krishna's qualities, and then taste in Krishna's pastimes. They all appear, and the goal is Krishna's pastimes. Goal is Krishna's pastimes. So this is Madhvendrapuri exalted position of Paramhamsa Vaishnav. Constantly chanting, he would not even beg. He would just go places to places, his hand in bead bag, and he would continuously chant, because there is nothing like chanting for him. Prabhupada used to say the goal of chanting Hare Krishna is to chant Hare Krishna. A person on a Vedi platform, when he hears chanting, goal of chanting Hare Krishna is chant Hare Krishna, he become depressed. He thinks, oh, goal of chanting Hare Krishna is to chant Hare Krishna. I don't want to chant Hare Krishna. I want something nice. Why? Because the potency of the holy name is not revealed to us. So we are afraid to chant Hare Krishna, and we want to do many, many other things. But again, takes one to know one. A Paramhamsa Vaishnava, from the consciousness with which these words are spoken, goal of chanting Hare Krishna is to chant Hare Krishna, is different from the consciousness at which they are received. That's why there is a kind of uh, um, we cannot understand that. But Srila Prabhupada word should be taken as absolute, is just some of the things will be revealed to us and realized by us over a period of time. So he went to Govinda Kund, uh, sat under a took bath, then sat beneath a tree to take his evening rest. These devotees, like Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, they don't care about place of residence. Our six Goswamis would sleep under different trees every night. Uh, very their lives. They are. That's what they want. They only want to chant the holy names. They don't care about their personal convenience. Ma- Madhavendra we will see many days he would not eat anything, and this is one such instance where, and he would not beg also. Hmm. And he would not beg also. So on one such instance, Krishna noticed it. Recently, I was reading at the stage of bhava, Krishna becomes spontaneously attracted to us. To the I mean, as we become spontaneously attracted to Krishna, Krishna is also drawn towards us. Krishna reciprocates according to our love. Krishna's love is for us is infinite at all time, but the reciprocation of our love is based on our advancement. So Krishna personally takes care of his devotees. An unknown cowherd boy came. The boy spoke. That was Gopal, but unidentified. Oh Puri, please drink this milk. Why don't you beg some food? What kind of meditation are you doing? Of course, Krishna knows everything, but he came and he spoke to to Madhavendrapuri. Why don't you beg some food? Please drink this milk. He brought a pot of milk. Madhavendrapuri became very satisfied upon seeing the beauty of that boy. This is something, when we are able to absorb in Krishna, when we are able to go deep in our chanting, when we are able to go deep in our kirtans, go deep in our remembrance, go deep in our readings, the only thing that will enter our heart is the sweetness of Krishna, mm, and deep satisfaction from that sweetness, because that is the nature of the soul. So just by seeing Krishna, Madhavendra Puri became very satisfied. But somehow, because the Yoga Maya potency, Madhavendra Puri could not understand who this boy is, but he just became very satisfied. Hearing his sweet words, he lost all hunger and thirst. Srimad Bhagavatam also explains that when a person is deeply attracted to the Lord, his bodily needs goes down. Prabhupada used to quote that verse and say, Prabhupada, we see from Bhaktivinoda Thakur, Srila Prabhupada, Saraswati Thakur, our Goswamis, Raghunath Das Goswami, Rupa Goswami, you see their eating, it is like Raghunath Das Goswami is like the epitome of renunciation. Um, I am ashamed to speak of him. Um, few sips of buttermilk and sleeping 1.5 hours, and that's the entire need of their body. Cannot understand, but what we can see is, well, there is a stage like that. Means there is a stage I need to achieve before I can actually make it back home, back to Godhead. Um, just okay. What is the goal? Where am I? Where am I? But I can at least desire. At least I can be sincere in my current states, so I can at least strive for that goal. So the Bhaktivinoda Thakur, Prabhupada, they all would sleep less than 2 hours, and they're eating frugally because they are very satisfied within their heart. Another thing that is said about Krishna is there are few things that are like Krishna's weapons. Just like Kamdev, Kamdev is in this material world in charge of invoking lusty desires in man and woman when they see another man and woman. So he shoots arrows. When he will not shoot arrow unless we have lust in our heart. When we don't have lust in our heart, then we are beyond his influence. Um, to the extent we don't have lust, to that extent we are beyond his influence. To the extent we are lusty, to that extent the sight would immediately impel attraction in us. And these are all job of Kamdev. Lord Shiva became very angry at Kamdev. By his glance, he um, burnt his body into ashes. For a long time, Kamdev did not have a physical body. He would just perform his service of invoking lusty desires in man and woman through a subtle body. And then by Krishna's mercy, he appeared again as Pradyumna, as wife of Krishna, Rukmini and Krishna, and then Pradyumna was born. So the Cupid got a physical body again by Krishna. So there's a long story behind it. Um, so Cupid releases 5 arrows to invoke lusty desires in a man and a woman. Original Cupid is Krishna. Original Cupid. That's why one of the name of Krishna is Kamdev. But he is original Kamdev in Golok Vrindavan. Original Kamdev means everybody is attracted to him. Like, generally for a boy to be attracted to a girl, Kamdev is required, or vice versa. But in spiritual world, Krishna himself is Kamdev. In a way, the functionality of Kamdev. So anybody who sees Krishna, they are they cannot think, they are fully satisfied, they cannot think of anything else. And then Krishna also has arrows that he shoots. One of the arrow that he shoots is his glance. Krishna's sidelong glance, and everybody is attracted. Krishna's beautiful face, everybody is attracted. Krishna's smile is a supreme arrow. When Krishna smiles, everyone is like enchanted by that. So these are various ways. Another is Krishna's touch. Everybody becomes immediately attracted. And the fifth head of Krishna is Krishna's voice, either in the form of a flute or when Krishna speaks. Extremely sweet. Krishna's flute, his glance, his beauty of his face, his smile, and his sense of touch. These are the five arrows Krishna releases, and um, they are his five weapons, and nobody can escape appreciating beauty of Krishna. Anybody who sees Krishna once, they cannot think of anything else in their life. And that is a function of Madan Mohan, Radha Madan Mohano. We chanted the prayers of Radha Madan Mohan, Radha Govinda, and Radha Gopinath. They are Sambandha Abhidya and Prayojana deities. So Madhvendrapuri, when he saw the boy, he felt extreme sweetness in his heart. Completely satisfied, his hunger and thirst went away. By hearing the voice of this young boy Krishna, Madhvendrapuri was completely lost. But he doesn't know who this boy is, why I'm feeling like this. But lot of love was generated in his heart towards that boy just by seeing. He just can't. He just like imbued with lot of love immediately. So then there is a conversation. Puri, Madhvendrapuri, who are you? Where do you reside? How do you know that I am fasting? The boy, I am a Gopa. I am resident of this village. Here no one fasts. If some people does not ask for food, I supply them. Take this milk. I shall return to take the pot. So Krishna gave him the milk. He said, well, I am a cowherd boy. I live in this forest. In this forest, nobody fasts. In Vrindavan, nobody fasts. Um, this is my forest. This is my village. Mm. If somebody fasts, I supply for them personally. Krishna supplies for us personally. There is, I have written this, there is a particular story of Arjunacharya. Arjunacharya was a disciple of Yamunacharya. Yamunacharya was the spiritual master of Ramanujacharya. I think his appearance day is coming this, Ramanujacharya appearance day is coming Sunday. Madhvacharya appearance day is, I think, tomorrow. So one of the disciple of Yamunacharya was Arjunacharya. Arjunacharya was writing a commentary on Bhagavad Gita, and he came across this verse, Yoga Shemam Vahamiyaham. Yoga Shema Vahamiyaham means I carry what they lack. And Arjunacharya thought, well, it should be Krishna carry what a devotee lacks through his devotees. Krishna, like, carry means whatever. If it's a quality you need, if it's a wealth you need, if it's a grains you need, whatever you need, Krishna says, I carry for my devotees. I make my devotee, I personally take care of my devotees. Whatever they need, I provide them. Food, clothes, shelter, devotion, characteristics, qualities, whatever I provide. So specifically with respect to food, Arjunacharya thought, well, Krishna does not come to personally give us grains, but he provides us through somebody. Somebody may donate us something, or somebody may offer some food to us. Somebody will be an instrument, but Krishna does not personally carry anything, like personally comes and give us anything. So Arjunacharya thought, well, it should be that through my agents I carry what they lack. It should not be I personally carry what they lack. So he scratched on Bhagavad Gita, and he changed the Sanskrit, saying that through my servants I provide, and I carry what they lack. And then he went to take bath in um, Ganga. Then two cowherd boys came. This is a pastime similar to um, um, many other pastimes that we may have heard. Um, One of the pastime is Geet Govinda when he personally wrote. So there are many such pastimes. So two cowherd boys came. They had a scratch on their back, and they were carrying huge bag of rice. And the wife asked, "Who are you?" Two small sweet boys, and they said, "Well, we are sent by your husband Yamunacharya to give you these grains. They are 20 kilos each bag. We have two bags of grains for you." So that time actually Yamunacharya was a Brahmana, so they lived by begging. So there was no food in his home. So his wife was very pleased to see the bags of grains. So she quickly cooked for the two boys and she fed them. And then they left. And later on, Arjunacharya came and she said, "You never did anything like this before. You never asked anybody to bring bags of rice and grains, but this time these are such small sweet boys, and you made them carry so much." And Arjunacharya understood, and he said, "Well, give me the description of those two boys. What were they wearing? How were they looking? What were their facial features? What did they say?" And then Arjunacharya from within his heart understood, and then later on he went and removed the scratching, and then he said, "Yes, actually Krishna carries what one lacks." So Krishna personally takes care. Um, what to speak about personally taking care of his devotees? So Madhvendrapuri, in the forest of Vrindavan, nobody fasts. So Madhvendrapuri, although he has whatever hunger he may have, he would never beg. Anything comes by its own accord, he would accept. So Krishna personally carried a pot of milk for him. The boy doesn't return. Madhvendrapuri washed the pot because the boy said, "I will return back. I have to go and milk the cows." It was Krishna's time for milking the cows. He's a cowherd boy. "I will return back to take the pot." And Madhvendrapuri washed the pot after drinking he drank the milk, he washed the pot and he was waiting because the boy was so satisfying. He was waiting for the boy to come. Boy never returned. Madhvendrapuri could not sleep, so he sat and chanted. All this Paramhamsa Vaishnavas do is they simply chant, and they derive great bliss and satisfaction simply by chanting the holy names of the Lord. Um, One should have that conviction in the holy name, and based on our and one must desire progress in holy name. One must work for progress in holy name, and holy name will reciprocate. One must work. One must try to do whatever it takes to strengthen one's relationships with holy name. One must avoid very carefully the 10 offenses. Jiva Goswami says there are two ways for 10 offenses to go away. One, the living entity has to go through the difficult times, and over time the offenses will go away, or the devotee can rectify the offenses if he realize, and that way again he can gain the satisfaction that is present within the holy name. Haridas Thakur in his Bhakti, in his Harinam Chintamani, describes what one should do if one commit these 10 offenses. What is the remedy for all the 10 offenses in Harinam Chintamani? So Madhvendra Puri could not sleep. For a devotee, there is no question of time waste because they are always engaged in Krishna consciousness. So he could not sleep. So he sat and he chanted. At the end of the night, he dozed a little. So that they don't have any schedule. They are beyond. Mode of goodness is you have a schedule. But Paramahamsa devotees, they don't have any schedule. They chant whole night. Whenever they feel tired, they take little rest under a tree. They sat and they again are fully absorbed in Krishna consciousness. Gopal appears in a dream. So he dozed off. Madhavendra Puri saw the very same boy in a dream. Of course, this picture says that he came like this, just for a sake of picture, but the very same boy came in a dream of Madhavendra Puri. Holding his hand, the boy took him to the bush in jungle. The boy said, I am residing here suffering from scorching its heat, typing mistake, cold, wind and rain showers. The boy, this is the loving sweetness between Krishna and his devotees. Krishna is Atmaram, he doesn't need anything, but he act like a dependent upon his devotees. Krishna acts as if dependent on Mother Yashoda, as he is dependent on the love of the Gopas and the Gopis in Vrindavan. Krishna act as if helpless. They they ask him to dance and he dances. Whatever they say, he does. Um, Srimad Bhagavatam explains Krishna would do whatever his queens would say in Dwarka. So Krishna, one of the sweetness aspect of Krishna is, Prabhupada used to say, you can control Krishna. But Krishna does not get controlled by anyone easily. Only by pure love he can be controlled. Bhaktya mam abhijanati. Only by devotion. So the boy came and the boy took Madhavendra Puri to the bush and boy said, Puri, Madhavendra Puri, I am suffering. See, I am suffering. There is so much heat, scorching heat, wind, rain, so much cold. I am alone here underground. Please save me. Please help me. Please save me. And Madhavendra Puri became overwhelmed with emotions. That's the sweetness aspect of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Please bring village people and take me out. Install me on the top of a hill. And then I have not kept everything here. The Gopal, the boy, also said, I was installed originally by Vajranath because of the Muslim ruler, the Pujari. He put me underneath this area, and then out of fear from the Muslim, he ran away and he never returned. And since that time onwards, I am here, suffering the heat and cold and rain and wind. Please help me. Wash me with large quantities of water. Why Madhvendra Puri was chosen for Seva and no other resident? Now, the Gopal deity was there under the ground for thousands of years, like at maybe 1 or 2,000 years. Whatever, between whatever, for many years. Why he could have told, there are so many residents in Vrindavan, so there are so many devotees who visit Vrindavan. Why did he gave this service only to Madhavendra Puri to install his deity form? Why no other residents of Vrindavan or no other visitor? The dream continued. The boy said, for many days I have been observing you. And he said, for many days I have been observing you. Actually, Krishna is observing us day and night. Krishna is observing us, what we do in a day, what we do in a night, what we do in the afternoon, what we do in the evening, how sincerely we are chanting, how sincerely we are reading, how much we are trying to absorb ourselves in Krishna, how many mistakes we are committing. So Krishna is always observing us. A devotee, once he realizes, he becomes careful. I mean, doesn't matter if Krishna is watching or not. He's Prabhupada says, be sincere, be sincere. So the Gopal, the boy, told Madhavendra Puri, for many days I have been observing you, day and night, your activities, Paramhamsa activities of constant absorption in me. I have been observing you. I have been waiting for your arrival. I have accepted your service. Thank you. We'll talk tomorrow. Hare Krishna. Welcome. Sorry. I have been waiting for your arrival. I have accepted your service due to your ecstatic love for me. So Gopal said, the boy said, I have been waiting for your arrival. Now, what a how much loving emotions will it generate if Krishna says, well, I have been waiting for you, I have been waiting for your arrival, I have accepted your service due to your ecstatic love for me. So why Madhvendrapuri got the service and nobody else of installing Gopal? Gopal's desire. He he saw Madhvendrapuri was an ecstatic love for him. Actually, who engages service to Krishna is a privilege, something we discussed last week also. Krishna gives service to those, Krishna gives service according to one's devotion. He gives service to those who have devotion for him. To others who do not have devotion to him, he will not inspire them to do seva. They will get nothing. He will not inspire them. The person may think, I don't want to do seva, but actually, Krishna does not want you to serve him. Krishna thinks you are unqualified to do seva. Service comes not by our desire, service comes by Krishna's desire. Krishna has to give us that desire. Um, like sometime devotees say, how much advancement we have made in Krishna consciousness depends upon how much seva bhav we have, how much service attitude we have, how much we want to hear about Krishna, how much we want to glorify Krishna. But actually, the seva bhav comes from Krishna. As Krishna gives more and more mercy, this desire will appear more and more. So Gopal said, I have been observing you, and I have accepted your service due to your ecstatic love for me. Because you have so much love for me, I want you to serve me personally in this way. Mm. Thus I shall appear, and by my audience, all fallen souls will be delivered. Gopal could have appeared at any point of time and could have delivered all the fallen souls who would come take darshan, but Gopal wanted to use Madhvendrapuri as an instrument. Krishna wanted to use Srila Prabhupada as an instrument to spread Krishna consciousness all over. He wanted to use Bhaktivinoda Thakur as an instrument to glorify him through his books, and that the teachings of his books will go all over the world. He wanted to use Saraswati Thakur as an instrument to spread Krishna consciousness all over India, defeat the impersonalism, defeat the Sahajiaism, establish over 100 temples, and initiate 60,000 disciples. Krishna wanted to use all our acharyas. Why? Because of their ecstatic love for Krishna. And by their mercy, we are getting so much mercy. My name is Gopal, the lifter of Govardhan. So, in this way, Madhvendrapuri already understood in the dream who is this boy Gopal, but he himself revealed that I lifted Govardhan. My name is Gopal. Till that time, he was just a boy. Madhvendrapuri lamented, alas, I saw Krishna directly, but could not recognize him. He got up and then he fell down again. But this time crying. This time he didn't like, not like a sleep, but full of emotions. Thus he fell to the ground, crying in ecstatic love. And hours passed by, time passed by, and he kept on crying and he kept on meditating on the mercy he received. Now, whenever we receive reciprocation, loving reciprocation from the Lord, lot of emotions stir our heart. But to speak about Sakshat Sfurti of the Lord, Sakshat Darshan of the Lord in person, and then in the dream and vision and instruction and seva, and Gopal telling, I'm suffering, I need your help, please serve me. Um, Out of your pure love for me, I want you only to serve me. This seva is for you, please do it for me. So he fell down crying, and hours passed by. Finally, he became composed. He fixed his mind in executing Gopal's order, hence became tranquil. He became pacified, and then he focused on, all right, what do I do now? How do I serve? Then what happened? Excavation of Gopal deity. Then Madhvendrapuri assembled the village people, and he went to the forest. This is just evening, he waited. Whole night he chanted. At the end of the night he dozed off. Gopal came and revealed his mercy. Few hours passed in crying. Then he got up composed. It's already morning. He took his morning bath and went to the village. Madhavendrapuri is not described as the resident of Vrindavan. One thing more to see is Madhavendrapuri uh, received the mercy of the Lord in Vrindavan, because it is Krishna's home, Vrindavan. So Madhavendrapuri took a bath and he went out, but he doesn't know the villages because he's just visiting. And Krishna wanted to glorify Madhavendrapuri. Madhavendrapuri was a sannyasi. So Madhavendrapuri went to the local villagers and he said, Gopal came to me and Gopal said his deity is in the bushes. So he wants our help, he wants our service. Now, devotees, Vrajvasis, naturally have spontaneous attraction for Krishna and they heard it. So Govardhan Dhari is lying in the bushes, let us rescue him. The bushes are very dense. Take choppers and spade. We have to cut and we have to go all the way. I know where to go. Let us go. He is a sannyasi, and the words, if the devotee is very sincere, his words will be empowered. Like, um, if anybody tells the Brajvasis, they may not be inspired. Actually, Krishna is the inspiring factor. Like Srila Prabhupada, he would tell anybody, you do this, you do this. So with that words, they are empowered to do it. Like Prabhupada has so much empowerment. Prabhupada could tell three families to go to Europe and start Krishna consciousness in Europe, and he met um, uh, uh, what's his name, Shanti. He met that he he met one person, Ananta Shanti. Yeah, I mean, it was his initiated name. He met one person in Russia, just one person, and he told him spread Krishna consciousness in Russia. Then he went to, um, everything is Krishna's arrangement. He went to Phoenix, Phoenix, um, and then his flight got delayed. I mean, there was some problem in the flight. Flight landed. Prabhupada told the devotee for 2 hours he spoke about Krishna consciousness. He told him to start the temple, and then Prabhupada left, and then temple started there. So likewise, Krishna made all arrangements. Now, Prabhupada gave, um, when Prabhupada spoke these words, the words were so empowered that they developed faith in Krishna by Prabhupada speaking that. So, because the words were coming from Madhavendra Puri, who was empowered by Krishna, whatever Madhavendra Puri said, thousands of people followed him. And we will see the whole Vrindavan came across to do whatever Madhavendra Puri says. That was because Madhavendra Puri was empowered. Was empowered. One time Jaguru Prabhu was mentioning, and he said, if somebody asks you, can you do this seva? And then they say, no, we cannot do. That means you're not empowered. If you're empowered, and if you say, can you do this seva? They will say, yes, we will do. So he was, that's how the pure devotee, I mean, he's a pure devotee. So he was seeing for himself like that. So something, the instructions get powered by serving Krishna. Because when Krishna is with us, when we speak, Krishna resonates in their heart. And the whole faith is transferred, everything, because the faith comes from Krishna from within our heart. So he told all the Vrajvasis, let us go with spade and choppers and let us rescue Gopal. And they all immediately started following Madhavendra Puri. Hearing this, all the people followed Madhavendra Puri to rescue Gopal. When they saw the deity covered with dirt and grass, they were struck with wonder and pleasure. They were shocked. Oh, there is actually a deity of Gopal. And they never went in those areas because filled with shrubs and herbs and all these kind of plants. And they found out Gopal deity. All were stuck with wonder and pleasure. And then there is a altar preparation. A big stone was made into a throne and the deity was installed upon it. So another big stone was placed behind the deity for support. So you see in a picture two stones. One stone. Now Gopal deity was very heavy. So it is described that strong built men, they carried the Gopal deity. They went, Gopal deity himself told them, install me on the top of mountain. So On the top of mountain, they took a large Govardhan Shila, one on the back, one on the base, and then they put Gopal deity. There is no temple, there is nothing. This is the temple. This is the first installation, the first day of Gopal worship. Abhishek preparation. Then Gopal himself said, I am scorching with heat, cold, wind, rain, I'm suffering. Please help me. Please save me from this situation. So a huge Abhishek was prepared. 900 pots of water was brought from Govindakund. Now 900 pots of water. You can imagine how many Brahmanas and how many Vrajvasis will be there. 900 pots of water were brought. Madhavendrapuri was empowered, so he would just direct everybody, and everybody would do as Madhavendrapuri would say. Milk, ghee, yogurt, various foods, flowers, garments, tulsi leaves, sweets, and various other preparations were brought there. Everybody wanted to serve Gopal with all their hearts. Now, the Abhishek ceremony. Madhavendra Puri personally began the bathing ceremony. He massaged with lots of oil. So, now those who have done Abhishek or those who do Abhishek, there is a process of Abhishek. The Abhishek that we do, the Abhishek, yesterday we did Abhishek for Panchatattva, Advaitacharya Appearance Day. And every year we do many, many Abhisheks in our temple, in Mayapur, in all the temples. And what we do in Abhishek is taken from Chaitanya Charitamrita. One of the book is here. How Madhavendra Puri did Abhishek. Mahajanina Katha Sapantha. We follow the pure devotees who are instructed by the Lord, either personally or within their heart. So detailed of Abhishek was instructed by Gopal to Madhavendra Puri, and Madhavendra Puri followed it. So first there is massage with lots of oil. How we do is we simply show a Q-tip dipped in oil and we say idam sugandha tailam, please accept it. Before bathing we massage with the oil. And then there is bathing with Panchagavya. Panchagavya is 5 cow products. Gavya is cow. So first we begin with Panchagavya. Panchagavya is milk, it's a cow product. Curd is a cow product. Ghee is a cow product. Cow dung is a cow product, and cow urine. So ghee, milk, curd, cow dung, and cow urine. So this is Panchagavya. First we bathe. Yesterday we follow the same procedure. First we bathed with Panchagavya, and then there is Panchamrita. Bathing with Panchamrita is 5 amrit, 5 nectars. Again there is 3 products repeated: milk, curd, yogurt, ghee, honey, and sugar water. And honey is considered as nectar, and sugar water, it's also a nectar. So this becomes the 5 panchamrita. So first Panchagavya, then Panchamrita, and then there is Mahasnan with ghee and water. And after the third bathing, then there is Sugandha water. Massage with scented oil. Again there is a oil massage. Um, we the second kind of massage we do in our temples is um, with chandan. With chandan, that's like natural fragrance. So we take the chandan and we wipe all over their body. And then after that we bathe. Final bathing is with scented water. Scented water, what we do in our temples is we take roses and we grind it, and then we pass it through a sieve, and that water is like fresh rose water. I mean, that's something, I mean, unfortunately roses don't have that smell, so they don't smell that good. But in Indian, roses and lilies and very fragrant waters, so they do abhishek in Mayapur with perfumes, with water, scented water from all natural flowers. Whether it is so many fragrant flowers are there, and multiple bathing from all those fragrant waters. Here we don't get anything. This is America. So a huge abhishek was performed to Gopal deity. Lot of details are there. It's very wonderful discussions. Then there is dressing and decorations. Gopal was dried and then dressed very nicely with new garments. So everybody was so eager to serve Gopal, and they stitch. This is all of these things is happening on the same day. Huge bathing, 900 pots of water with Panchagavia, Panchamrita, huge. Mm, scented oil, scented water, massage, mahasnan with ghee and water. Then he was dried and then dressed with very, very nice ornaments that were stitched same day. So much devotion. Then sandalwood pulp again we do that. Fragrant flower garlands and then tulsi garlands were placed upon his body. Sometime you will see, especially festivals, not yesterday because winters we don't get so much tulsis, but you will see during Janmashtami, Radhashtami, and other festival days, you will see a tulsi garland on Gopi Janavallabha and Draupadi Pavan Gaurahari sometimes. So there is fragrant flower garlands. Our garlands is simple garland, but sometimes we sprinkle rose fragrance on the garlands just to make it fragrant flower garlands. And tulsi garlands, they were placed on their body, on his body, Gopal. Then bhoga offering and arati. Then the deity was offered incense, lamps, food, yogurt, milk, and sweets. Not like full meal, but food. This is called naivedya. So these are there. There are 16 steps. They are called shadupcharas. 16 upcharas that we follow every single day to bathe Radha Gopi Jana Vallabha and Nitaya Pati Pavan Gaurahari. They are like um, so there is incense, lamps, then food, which is naivedya, and then scented drinking water. The water that they offer is scented. In Vrindavan, it is described Yamuna water was very scented and um, very fragrant and tasty. But now we don't see that as Kali Yuga progresses and after Krishna's disappearance. They would just Yamuna would go everywhere along with Krishna, and all the gopas and gopis in all their pastime would just take Yamuna water and drink. So scented drinking water. Achaman is you, like you give water to sip to purify the mouth. Achaman. You may put some long and some there are 4 5 articles you put to make the authentic version of Achaman. And then finally tambula, it is for purifying the mouth also at the last. So very elaborate ways of serving the deities. So there is first you not going all 16 just to avoid confusion, but there is first you offer them some achuman. First you wash their feet, then you offer them some achuman to purify their mouth. Then you give them some madhu parka, which is like mainly honey water, mainly honey, madhu parka, and then you again sip their mouth, and then you bathe them with in elaborate ways. Mm. For elaborate worship, in our case, we simply bathe with water mixed with rose essence. We mix some rose essence to make it. We buy some rose water bottles, and we mix few drops in the water, just so that the Lord is bathed with fragrant water. So bathing and then wiping angavastram, and then you decorate them abharnani. Then you offer garlands malam, and then you offer it a tulsi patra, tulsi leaf on their feet, and then you offer dhupa, agarbatti, and deepa, and then you offer them some sweet or something as naivedya, and then you offer obeisances. So these are 16 upcharas that we do every single day to serve the Lord. The morning bathing, something we can see even more elaborate than what we do every day was done by MadhavendraPuri. And then bhoga aratik was performed. um, everyone offered prayers and fell flat in full surrender. The last item, the 16th item of 16 upcharas is namaskuru, is you offer them your obeisances. Without offering obeisances, The whole dressing is not complete. The whole bathing ceremony is not complete. So we see here everyone offered prayers and fell flat in full surrender. And then now is the time for Lord to eat. This is all happening on the same day. The garlands were made, flower garlands, tulsi garlands, all this abhishek. So we can see how many brahmanas and how many people were working so hard just to please Gopal. This is all empowerment by Madhvendrapuri, who was empowered by Gopal. Then the villagers brought their entire stocks of rice, dal, wheat flour in large quantity that is covered the entire surface of the hill. So we cannot imagine, as you see here, they got everything. They whatever was there in their home, everybody rushed to their home and they got all the stocks. And then the potters brought all kind of cooking pots. 10 brahmanas cooked grains, 5 cooked dry and liquid vegetables with spinach, roots, and fruits. 5 to 7 men made chapatis. So just see an idea. 10, 5, 20 to 22 people are cooking. 20 to 22 brahmanas. 10 are cooking grains. So they made the entire kitchen. I mean, in Annakut, uh, ancient kitchen is not like, you get some gas from a central and then you turn on the burner and gas comes. Cow dung. They are cowherd boys. They had thousands of cows. They had so much dried cow dung. Cow dung cakes is the fuel. They put some. They have a chula made of mati, made of wet sand, wet dried sand. Underneath they put some cow dung and then they ignite, and then they have earthen pots, pot made of earth, and in that they cook with pure ghee made from curd. So this is like such a wonderful culture of Braja, but this Kali Yuga and the food here is very very low quality. So 10 brahmanas cook grains, 5 cooked dry and liquid vegetables with spinach, roots, and fruits. 5 to 7 men made chapatis. Huge Annakut ceremony. Huge. Lot of items were prepared. All items were covered with ghee. This is Prabhupada says opulence is you have lot of cows and you have ghee. Ghee is opulence in ancient age. Not how many dollars we have. So all items were covered with ghee and they were offered with lot of love. Then this is very nice. Gopal's potency. Madhvendrapuri personally offered everything to Gopal. Madhvendrapuri could perceive transcendently how Gopal ate everything. Sometime Prabhupada would eat in some devotee's home, and sometime he would say, Krishna did not eat anything today. This food was not accepted by Krishna. In one of the pastimes, Saraswati Thakur was offered food by the king, and Saraswati Thakur said Krishna did not eat these items. Krishna does not accept anything not offered with love. So the transcendental vision of devotees, by looking at the food, by tasting the food, they can say if Krishna has eaten or not. So Madhvendra Puri, when he personally made the offering cooked by these 22 brahmanas, huge offering, it's a annakut. Annakut means mountains and mountains. As you see in the picture, this is Annakut, mountains. So Madhvendra Puri could see from his transcendental vision that Gopal was very satisfied and Gopal ate everything. Everything was arranged in a day. This is the first day of worship. This now imagine they got so much rice, grain, and they made. I remember I was in Eka Chakradham and Nityan Trayodasi 2 years back. Exactly 2 years back, this time I was in Eka Chakra actually. In these days, I stayed there for a week. So thousands of people come. Around 25,000 people visited on Nitya Trayodasi day in Ekachakra. So what they did is within 2 hours they dug the earth and then they put some wet sand and they put some cow dung and the chula is ready. So they prepared 10 big chulas in the ground instantaneously in just 2 hours, ready for preparation cooking for 25,000 people on those chulas. So that's so these cowherd villagers on the same day brought all the ingredients. Everybody was ready. The whole abhishek preparation simultaneously. The whole Vrindavan came here. News word spread, and others were helping in cooking. They made chula. So all different people are serving in different capacities to serve Gopal. Everything was arranged in a day. Everything was accomplished by the potency of Gopal. No one but a devotee can understand this. Now, a devotee could understand that this is all done by Gopal. This is very important point. Hear it very attentively. Gopal himself arranged to be found. He himself arranged to be bathed. He himself arranged for all the Abhishek ingredients. He himself arranged for MadhavendraPuri to come there. He himself arranged for all his food items. He himself arranged to engage and inspired all them to engage in all these services to make these kind of garlands and stitch these kind of clothes. Everything was arranged by Gopal. Everything was Gopal's potency. Gopal was the doer. Madhavendra Puri could understand. Otherwise, how is it possible? In one day, so much service, how is it possible? Krishna arranges for his service. I have personally some little experiences by living in temple that how Radha Gopijana Vallabha make so many arrangements all the time. And if we just live in temple maybe for a month or two, we will be able to see, if we just have a desire to see, if we just have faith that Krishna is the doer, we'll be able to see how everything is done by Krishna. Everything is done by Krishna. Like recently, Giriraj Prabhu um, wanted to go to India for 2 months. Now there is lot of anxiety among us who will cook. First, I was asked, "Can you cook?" I said, "Well, I can try, but the taste will not be there, and Krishna will suffer." I can make breakfast. I do make breakfast once a week only. I do little cooking, but lunch is like heavy. Lunch cooking is like you make like 15 items. Lot of items. There is pakoras, chapatis, dosas, two kinds of sabji, sweet, salad, drink, rice items, dal, um, and some more miscellaneous items. So there are like 12 to 15 items in Rajbhog, and it requires expertise to cook. So nobody in the temple was able to cook, and then we were looking for who Giraj Prabhu wants to go, because there is no chance we will have another cook for next many months, and he has some engagement in India. He had to go. Now what do we do? So Krishna inspired, and we called one Mataji. Krishna inspired us to talk to her, and we asked her, "Is there a cook? Do you know a cook?" She said, "Let me try." And then she called another devotee who was a brahmachari for 15 years. He was a cook in Detroit temple for 12 years, and then he recently had a job. He had lost the job. He had a desire. He was missing that kind of serving in a temple mood for a long time, because a brahmachari, once he relish service to Krishna, nowhere else can he be satisfied once he get a taste in serving Krishna. So he was desiring, and then the offer went, well, Farmington Temple needs a cook for 2 months. And he said, yes, I want to cook. And he just recently lost the job. He came, now he's cooking. And he's making such wonderful feast for Radha Gopijana Vallabha. Those who ate prasadam yesterday, Advaita Charya appearance day, the quality. Excellent. He made so many varieties. He live in the temple only now, and morning and evening he is cooking for Radha Gopijana Vallabha. And he was telling, well, I was desiring for seva. He lives just in Ann Arbor. He's practicing Krishna consciousness for 35 years. And this is just one instance. We can see how Krishna has a plan everywhere. Actually, nothing stopped. After Giraj Prabhu left, although he is one of the main temple, probably the main temple to run the show here. When he left, all the seva is going on as nicely, even more nicely sometimes. The service of Radha Gopi Jana Vallabha. Then I wanted to go to Vrindavan, and um, recently Achyut Gopal Prabhu, he does morning dressing. He very beautiful dressing he does. He dressed Radha Gopi Jana Vallabha today. Yes, he's one of the devotee I look for his association, because what I look for in a devotee is not anything external, but how much devotion they have, how much humility they have, how sincere they are. Based on that, only with those Vaishnavas, I want to go close. I don't want to develop relationship with all the devotees. One has to be very careful. I mean, with whom we want to go close, because with whom you associate with, those qualities you will develop naturally. So I look for his association, and then he came, and then he told. I mean, there was a time when me and him would go for book distribution every day. We were like a team partners. This is like many years back, probably 7 years back. We used to go for Sankirtan every day. For he used to he will come for Mangalarti every day. Very sincere devotee. Um, um, so he came and he said just few days back that Prabhu, I got a dream, and in the dream you and Sham Kishore Prabhu were fighting over who will dress God Nitai. So I'm thinking that maybe it's a signal from God Nitai that I should dress them. And in the meantime, here I was thinking, while I'm gone, I'm dressing God Nitai 4 days in a week. Who will cover my services? Because I want to make sure after I go, the services goes on even in more improved way. That's our responsibility. So he said, Prabhu, I have a desire that I want to serve Nitya Pratipan Gaur Hari in the mornings. I said, Prabhu, Radha Gopijana Vallabh inspired you. Nitya Pratipan Gaur Hari inspired you. Thank you. And then recently, Nandiketan Prabhu called me just 3 days back. And he said, Prabhu, is there any day I can dress Nitya Padipavan Gaurahari? I'm getting that desire to serve them in the morning dressing. And one by one, without even any trying from our side, all my services are covered. And this is I am seeing it for years, that how Radha Gopijana Vallabh Nitya Padipavan Gaurahari, they are making all the arrangements. Only a fool engrossed in 10 sense gratification thinks he is the doer. Doer is the epitome of false ego. When we have a lot of false ego, we think we are the doer, and we think we are rendering service. We should understand I'm not the doer. Um, Service to Krishna, especially service to Krishna, is a privilege. Service to Krishna does not depend upon us. If we think service to Krishna depend upon us, we are fools number one. Service to Krishna was going on before any one of us in this room came to Krishna consciousness. Service of Krishna will continue if we all go out of Krishna consciousness. Service to Krishna is not dependent upon us. Krishna makes his own arrangements. Our our fortune is somehow Krishna is depending on me. Just like this is the sweet relationship between Krishna and his devotees. Krishna acts in such a way as if Krishna is depending upon us. Krishna acted with MadhavendraPuri in such a way as if Krishna is dependent on the service of MadhavendraPuri. That simply grew MadhavendraPuri love for Krishna. Um, I'm scorching with heat and with wind and with cold. Please help me. Krishna arranged all the Vrajvasis, all the Abhishek. I am hungry. Krishna arranged the entire Annakut festival, and we will see next few slides. Krishna arranged everything for himself without Madhavendrapuri doing anything other than his own absorption in Krishna. That's all. Krishna does everything for us. And 2 years back, I mean, I'm watching this because I'm staying here, and I see before the need arises, things are arranged. At some point of time, I used to think things are arranged because I have a desire, and Krishna is reciprocating with my desire. Then I realized many things were happening even before my without my desire. They were just happening naturally. And then I could see Krishna's hand, that actually Krishna is making arrangements. The thing that I desired, and that's why this happened, also is impelled by um, um, the conception of I am the doer. I then slowly I could see that actually Krishna is the doer. Krishna is the doer of everything. Krishna tells Arjuna, I have already killed them. Everything is arranged by me. Nimitta matram bhava savyasachi. Krishna is the one who gives us that desire for devotional service. When Krishna sees that we are eager to serve, Krishna gives us service. And service to Krishna is a privilege. If we are not getting service, we should lament that I don't have Krishna's mercy. That's why neither do I have a desire to serve, nor do I have the opportunity. Sometimes devotees ask me, Prabhu, how can I serve? And I always tell them, just desire, Prabhu. Just desire. Why Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita that is the only thing in our hand. No, Prabhu, desire से क्या होगा? आप बताओ, how can I serve? Prabhu, I am not the doer. It's not about me how you can serve. You just desire. Once you desire, you will see yourself without my engagement. You will have seva. You will have seva just by your desire. Your desire comes if you just remain sincere in Krishna consciousness. Krishna will give you the desire. And somehow, if you now everything is dependent on Krishna actually, everything. Um, our desire becomes weak when we offend devotees. We lose our enthusiasm to serve Krishna. We lose our empowerment to serve Krishna. We lose um, our absorption in Krishna, and we become weak in Krishna consciousness. We become weak. We were at some point of time. One time one devotee asked Bhakti Rasamrit Maharaj. No, not Sagar Maharaj. You know the Russian devotee, Muslim background who comes. One time in Grand Rapids, one devotee asked, "How do we know if you're progressing in Krishna consciousness?" And Maharaj said, Bhakti Rasayan Sagar Maharaj. Sorry, Bhakti Rasayan Sagar Maharaj. So he asked Maharaj, how do we know if we are progressing Krishna consciousness? And Maharaj said, you will become enthusiastic to serve Krishna. When we have devotees' mercy, we are enthusiastic, we are empowered, we are eager to serve. When we lack or when we offend devotees, we lose our enthusiasm, we lose our empowerment. Like whatever service, you will not be surprised. I have seen personally with my eyes, I have witnessed whatever service we are able to do today because we are empowered by Krishna. If we neglect Vaishnav etiquettes, offend devotees, if we make mistakes, devotees are the one by whose empowerment we receive. If we are very sincere, if we have lot of blessings of all the devotees, we will be very enthusiastic and we will always be engaged in serving Krishna. But then, while serving Krishna, we have to maintain the mood of humility. We have to maintain our etiquettes. Um, if we are not careful and if we make mistakes, especially Vaishnava Aparadh, then at some point of time, whatever services we are able to do, they will be taken away from us. So, Krishna consciousness Devotees give Krishna, devotees take Krishna away from us. Something Bhakti Sagar Maharaj mentioned, and I still keep it in my mind. So I myself try to be very careful with devotees, especially. So Krishna is the doer, and Gopal arranged everything for himself. Gopijana Vallabha and Nitai Padit Pavan Gaura Hari arranges everything for them. This temple is built by them, this temple is managed by them. Devotees, I mean, I'm so surprised. Just every time I speak on this topic, I become very amazed by how Krishna is making all arrangements for himself. I remember 2 years back, I used to do noon aarti every day, and that was a difficult seva for me. So I would do it every day. And then I went to India for 3 months, and one Mataji came and she said, Prabhu, I can do noon aarti every day once you are gone. And I said, well, Mataji, I was thinking about this seva, who will do? Thank you very much. And then she started doing without any day of break. She did service for all 3 months. When I came back, she was inspired with some other services, and she she was not inspired with noon aarti. It became difficult for her. Things happened in such a way that somebody else started doing that seva. Again, I took up that seva, and now Bhagavacharya Prabhu does that seva. So everything is already arranged by Krishna. We just have to um, just want to see it. I am seeing it all the time. There is so much seva. You will be amazed if I share these stories of how Radha Gopi Jamana and Nitapati Pavan Gaura Hari are arranging for their seva. There is so much seva. And they are always, Krishna is, Gopi Jana Vallabh is so merciful. He is always inspiring devotees. It doesn't matter whether you serve or not. None of the service is going to stop because of you. It's only a matter of, do you want to receive Krishna's mercy? If you want, you desire. If you want, you try. You be sincere. If you get the seva, you should know, okay, that's a good sign that I am in goodwill of Krishna. I am in goodwill of Krishna. So many instances. One time, this is so nice, so wonderful. One time, um, um, there were two devotees, Seema Mataji and Krishna Prabhu. Some of you may know him, may know them. They used to do morning backup seva every single day, except Saturday and Sunday. Monday to Friday, they would do morning backup seva. They did it for, they did it for, um, I mean, no, I will take my words back. This is during Corona time. Corona time. They did evening backup seva for all 2 months when the temple was closed. Actually, at any point of time, there was always devotees who were enthused. After they left, different devotees started coming back. We had difficulty in morning seva to manage because one devotee is cooking, one devotee is serving Radha Gopi Jana Vallabha, one devotee is giving Bhagavatam class. At least one devotee should sit for Bhagavatam class. Otherwise, for whom to give Bhagavatam class, even if nobody is sitting there? So there was a situation that nobody is there to do backup seva. Backup seva, morning backup seva is like 45 minutes. Krishna understood that all the servants are fully occupied and this seva is remaining. Then um, Krishna sent Ram Krishna Prabhu, another devotee who works outside, but he started staying in temple for 2 3 months. Then he started doing morning backup seva every day. Then his office had called him back, so he went back, and now again, who will do backup seva? Morning backup seva, nobody is there. So we were thinking, and then another devotee moved to Farmington Hills. He started doing backup seva every single day. And then that devotee went to India. And then Anirudh Prabhu's wife is in India. Anirudh Prabhu started coming. and he is doing backup seva every day now. Every day he comes for doing backup seva, and I know after 1 month or 1.5 months he is also going to India. I know somebody else will come. Now we have seen so much that we have understood. We don't have to worry about how will temple go on, how will service be rendered. We are just amazed by seeing Radha Gopi Jana Vallabha and surrendering ourselves that do what you like. Please engage me in your service. That's a prayer Srila Prabhupada taught us. Please engage us in your service. But sometimes we are engaged too much, then we may develop some kind of false pride that, see, if I'm not there, then how will service continue? Simply a false ego. So Krishna is a doer. We have to again and again see and understand and apply in our life. Krishna is the doer. There are many things, because these are day-to-day things that we watch in our temple. But everyone in a temple is aware of the potency of Radharani here, and the potency of Gopi Jana Vallabha, and the arrangements of Nitai, and the arrangements of Lord Chaitanya. When you come there, just have faith. Radharani is standing in front of you. Everything you are speaking, Radharani is listening your prayers. Everything you are speaking to Gopi Jana Vallabha, he is standing, he is playing his flute, but he is listening everything that you are speaking from your heart. Everything that you are telling to Lord Chaitanya, he is listening. Everything you are telling to Nitai, he is listening. Every kirtan you are singing, he is listening. He is feeling happy. I have seen devotees when they come together. Yesterday, when devotees came together and they performed kirtan, I saw a big smile on the face of Radharani. A big smile. She was so happy. So many devotees are coming to glorify us. So we have to, when we see these, I'm sure you, those who were there yesterday in the temple, they saw a smile on Radharani. So they are, all they want is our love. We should we should take care of them with lot of love and affection. We should serve them with all our heart, under guidance of devotees, with lot of love and affection. That way we will make lot of progress in our own Krishna consciousness. Okay, maybe few more minutes. Completion of festival. A temporary temple was constructed with straw mattress. This happened on the same day. Let me cover just this portion. I don't know if I can complete by next week this particular pastime. Then all the Vrajvasis, now beginning was only two stones, and that was a temple. So they made a straw mattress, a straw hut for Gopal. Everything is actually Gopal inspiration, and he's arranging for himself. It looks like he's standing there without any facial expressions. Apparently, only devotees can experience the facial expressions of the Lord. It looks like he's just standing there. He is doing everything. He's the boss. Final arati was performed while people chanted Jai Jai. There was no Harinam Sankirtan at that time, during MadhavendraPuri's time. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu introduced. Of course, MadhavendraPuri would chant Hare Krishna Maha Mantra on his japa even before Lord Chaitanya came, day and night. But Lord Chaitanya made the chanting of the holy name accompany all forms of devotional service. Before Mahaprabhu, during the aratis, it would just ringing of the bells and say Jai Jai. So but again, it's a glorification of the Lord. Jai means all glories to you, my Lord. It's same as the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, but Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu brought it to the center of all activities around Maha Mantra. Madhavendra Puri brought a new cot with a bedspread, something we do. See so much details in Chaitanya Charitamrita. So he bought a cot and a bedspread for putting the Lord to rest. Evening has come, and Gopal was put to rest. Madhavendra Puri instructed all the Brahmanas to feed everyone sumptuously. Annakut was there. The women were fed, old people were fed, children were fed, just like it happened during Govardhan Leela. And then what happened? Madhvendrapuri influence was felt. Everybody, now Madhvendrapuri just came yesterday, few or maybe 2 3 days back to Vrindavan, and nobody knows him. And within a day, Gopal made MadhavendraPuri from nobody to the leader of Vrindavan in a day. Just a day it takes. Like my spiritual master says, if you always try to take a humble position, if you are very sincere, Krishna will glorify you. How Krishna glorifies you? By giving you seva. When Krishna gives somebody seva, we recognize, okay, this devotee is sincere, that's why this devotee has Krishna's mercy. If this devotee is getting seva, means Krishna is giving him seva, means this devotee is sincere. So Madhavendra Puri, overnight, Krishna glorified him. If we always want to stay in the background, if we always consider ourselves as low and fallen, and if we keep serving in the background, Krishna will glorify us. How? He will just glorify you. You don't have to do anything. Krishna will just glorify you. So within a day, everybody felt the influence of Madhavendra Puri. People were stuck with wonder to see influence of Madhavendra Puri. They thought, wow. They were not thinking anything. They were just busy in their own homes. In a day, whole Vrindavan came together. Annakut festival, they were thinking, Annakut festival, which took place during the day of Lord Krishna, again took place today by the mercy of Madhavendra Puri. Actually, Krishna is the doer, but Krishna give glories to his devotees. This is Krishna's greatness. Krishna said, Arjuna, I have already done, everybody is already dead. Just fight and win the glory. Krishna told Arjuna, well, you have to do only one thing. You have to do what I say. You be dedicated to me, and I will give you all the glory. Just accept it. Just accept all the glory. If you look for glory, I will not give you. But if you don't look for glory, I will give you a lot of glory. One very nice example I feel is from Achyut Gopal Prabhu. Every devotee knows him as a glorious Vaishnava. Why? Because of his humble conduct. But he never looks for that. Devotee who doesn't look for glory, they become glorious. So everybody in Vrindavan was struck with wonder by seeing the influence of Madhavendra Puri. एक दिन में पूरा पूरा बदल दिया, वृंदावन को बदल दिया. In one day he transformed Vrindavan itself. Madhavendra Puri initiated Brahmanas, all the Brahmanas, in the Vaishnav cult and engaged them in various services. Madhavendra Puri, I don't know how many disciples he had, maybe no disciple, there is no mention, but within a day, he had so many disciples. Krishna's Kaviraj Goswami says all the Brahmanas receive initiation from Madhavendra Puri in a day. So that's how Krishna gives glories to his devotees who are simply absorbed in serving Krishna with love. Then deity worship of Gopal. Word spread and people from different villages came to see Gopal. Not only Vrindavan. Nearby there are so many ones. There is Kamuda one, Bahula one, Mahavan, um, Barsana one, um, Nandagram, and there are so many villages nearby. So Vrindavan is one of the 12 forests of Vraja. Vraja is a um, 12 forest. So people from different villages came to see Gopal. They begged Madhavendra Puri to give them a day to perform Annakut ceremony. The whole villagers, they ask, one day we want to perform Annakut. One day we want to perform Annakut. One day we want to perform Annakut. So likewise, there was a Annakut. Annakut means, does not mean like, in a plate there are 10, 12 items. Annakut means thousands of kilos of bhoga. Every day, Gopal arranged for himself in such a way that every day he was offered annakut, and for offering annakut to Gopal, everybody glorified Madhavendra Puri for that. Everybody came and begged Madhavendra Puri, and Madhavendra Puri, because he's a realized soul, Krishna gave him all the glory, and he knew whatever was happening. Being a realized soul, he knew everything is the arrangement of Gopal. So he would not become proud. He would know that this is Gopal's arrangement. So Sri Madhvendrapuri, and Madhvendrapuri personally, he did not eat anything throughout the day. At night he took little milk preparation. Hence every day there was an Annakut festival. So we can understand how much Gopal was arranging for himself. Just the word of mouth spread, but the word of mouth spread, everything is personally, minutely orchestrated by Gopal. When Gopal is hungry, the whole world will come and feed him. Nobody can stop him. Then Gopal riches increased. One rich Kshatriya constructed the temple, someone made cooking utensils, and someone constructed boundary walls. Now Gopal had a temple. One Kshatriya was inspired and he requested Madhvendra Puri, can I build a big stone temple? His Holiness Ramapad Maharaj showed us the temple, the rundown temple of Gopal. Now they built another temple, but that was the temple initially built just few hundred years back. And now it is run down naturally. So one Kshatriya came and inspired, and he begged Madhavendra Puri. Madhavendra Puri was center, received all the glories. Gopal personally arranged for a temple because it was a straw hut temple. A temple was built for Gopal. Gopal got cooking utensils, like permanent utensils, made of gold and tamba and others. And he got a whole boundary wall around him. Each family in Brajabhumi contributed a cow. Thus, Gopal had thousands of cows now for his seva. Thousands of cows. Every family decided, let us donate a cow to Gopal, so that even tomorrow, if we are not there, the Gopal treasury is so much that his service never stops. So now Gopal has a temple, Gopal has all the utensils, boundary, and Gopal has thousands of cows. This is for his future service Gopal arranged. Rich capitalists from Mathura brought countless presentations of gold, silver, ornament, scented articles, and eatables. So Mathura rich capitalists came and they offered so much to Gopal. Prabhupada said Krishna is giving them opportunity for seva. When one engages one's possession in Krishna service, it is not for Krishna, it is for you. You are making progress. Krishna is allowing you to make progress. So rich capitalists from Mathura were inspired, and there are many stories. Some of the stories I know from Vrindavan, very very sweet stories of how um, Radharani and Krishna, they engages devotees just for the purpose of engaging everyone in seva. The point Krishna says throughout Bhagavad Gita, devotional service. Through devotional service is the essence of Gita. We make progress. So now Gopal has thousands of cows. He has a temple. He has utensils. He had lots and lots of gold, silver, ornaments, and everything. And he has a Annakut festival for him every day. Can we imagine how gloriously Gopal was served? When Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came, Gopal Mahaprabhu would not step on Govardhan because Govardhan is Krishna. So Gopal himself came down and went to Mathura and then stayed there for 1 week. And Mahaprabhu stayed in the house of that Brahmana for 1 week and chanted for Gopal day and night and with tears of love. So he did similar thing for Rupa Goswami also. So Gopal is very very active deity. He is served in our temple in the form of Srinathji. Srinathji. Govardhandari, Giridhari. So Gopal riches increased. Now he has so much riches. Hence the store of Gopal increased daily. One time Prabhupada was asked, where are you getting all these resources from for building 100 temples? And your monthly income is thousands of dollars. Where are you getting money from? And Prabhupada would say, Krishna is providing. And then they would say, no, no, Swamiji, it doesn't work like that. How are you getting this money? And Prabhupada said, Krishna is providing. So a self-realized soul can see that. Madhavendra Puri did not do anything. Krishna is the doer. But Krishna will use us based on how pure is our desire and how much ecstatic love we have for Krishna. Based on that, we'll be empowered to do that kind of service. Why Prabhupada could do that kind of service? Na 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 bhutva na praliyate. Neither in future nor in the past anybody could do, because of Prabhupada's ecstatic love for Krishna and his surrender to his spiritual master. He was empowered that kind of service. So Prabhupada said Krishna is providing. So Gopal arranged for his temple, for his food, not just normal food, annakut, for golds and riches, for his cows. Now Gopal is the richest man. So far, he was just on a stone, but within a short time, he has everything. Krishna is a doer. Gopal arranged for his pujaris also. See, so wonderful. Two renounced Brahmanas arrived in Vrindavan. Madhavendra took care of them, initiated them, and entrusted them with the daily service of Gopal. Krishna gave him pujaris. Pujaris. Two pujaris arrived, two renounced Brahmanas. Madhavendra was inspired. He took care of them. He initiated them, and they would daily worship Gopal. Seeing the gorgeous worship, Madhavendra was very pleased. So that's how the Gopal temple was established. And yeah, this is the second dream where we move on to Madhavendra journey to Remuna. So for some time, Madhavendra stayed there, and everything Gopal arranged. Madhavendra got many disciples, but he would not eat anything. He would hardly sleep. He would still live under a tree, and he would just be absorbed in ecstatic love. Everything was happening. Madhavendra is just a witness, yet by the mercy of Gopal, for everything Madhavendra was being glorified. This is a loving relationship between Krishna and his pure devotees. Okay, so that's all we will discuss today, and we will see if anyone has any question. Okay, okay. So we'll end here. Vanchakalpatarubhesha kripa sindhubhe evacha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Ananta Koti Vaishnavendra ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.
Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.